I was reading over an article the other day called "The Shadow of His Sacrifice" by a man by the name of Leslie Hardinge, who is supposed to be a Seventh-day Adventist scholar. He's supposed to have a doctor's degree. But quite honestly, from the start, this is one of the most Bible illiterate men that I've ever had the displeasure of reading an article by, other than maybe Walter Vedder or Doug Batchelor. He's one of the most Bible illiterate people I've ever had the displeasure of reading. But like all other Seventh-day Adventist scholars, he must interpret the Bible according to the writings of Ellen White. In fact, I've shown several times where they even teach that the Bible is to be interpreted and take top priority. The writings of Ellen White are to take top priority when interpreting the Bible. So sure enough, he, like other so-called scholars of the Seventh-day Adventists, teach that the scapegoat used on the Day of Atonement was Satan. And what they're doing is teaching heresy. They're teaching that Satan bears our sin and not Jesus Christ. I can't in my life imagine how anyone would be that Bible illiterate, or even, I mean, you don't even have to know the Bible to go in there and see how ridiculous that is, to think that Satan had anything to do with bearing our sins. And people seem to forget that on the Day of Atonement, or any sacrifice given to God, as far as that matters, that sacrifice had to be without spot and without blemish. Maybe Seventh-day Adventists can. Maybe there's a writing in Ellen White where Satan is a saint too and never did sin. How can anyone say that Satan is without blemish and without spot? I've yet to get an answer from the Seventh-day Adventist. How can Satan be without blemish and without spot? There's only one person that ever qualified for that, and that is Jesus Christ. But yet this so-called Dr. Harding, even with his doctor's degree, has now been reduced to interpreting the Bible according to the writings of Ellen White. Again, this is one of the worst heresies that I've ever heard in my entire life. For it to take away from the finished work of Jesus Christ and give credit to Satan is a heresy that is beyond belief. To teach such a heresy leads others into a false understanding of what Jesus Christ has done for us. When God commanded sacrifice, it was among other reasons to illustrate the consequences of sin and what it would do to us. It would separate us from God and mar the image of God that is within us. So once again, I'm going to take basically just chapter 16 on the Day of Atonement and explain that to some people who have emailed me about it, wanting to understand it more, what exactly took place on the Day of Atonement, and how both sacrifices pointed to Christ, and neither one of them could have ever pointed to Satan, again, because he wasn't without blemish, without spot. Before I do that, though, I want to show you, again, from the writings of Ellen White, who is the Bible for the Seventh-day Adventists, where this so-called Dr. Harding get this from, and I'll put it up here on the screen there, quoting right from the writings of Ellen White. You start reading about it on about page 419 of the Great Controversy, but the main point is on page 422 of the Great Controversy, and I'll put that article up here, or that the words of Ellen White up here for you to see from page 422 of the Great Controversy. And then my next video I will be dealing strictly with the Day of Atonement, showing the heresy of the Seventh-day Adventist scholars by teaching people who are sitting in the pews this garbage. And that's what it is, it's pure garbage. If their scholars are that Bible illiterate, they need to find them a new university or get their money back won. And to call themselves men of God and teach this heresy is blasphemy within itself. And if they want to challenge me and debate me on this, I'd be glad to do it. But I doubt very seriously if there's an SDA member on YouTube who really want to debate me over this. So let me get to work on this Day of Atonement now in my next video and explain this once and for all, so people will see just what a religious cult can do that leads millions of people away from God by calling Jesus the sin bearer. How ridiculous. Till next time, this has been Golly saying, God bless.